Your brain registers a social slight with the exact same neural pathways that scream when you stub your toe. That lingering flush, the pit in your stomach, the memory that cycles endlessly through your consciousness for years after a minor gaffe. That isn't just awkwardness, that is your deep, primal defense system sounding a full-blown physical pain alarm. It's a social burn, and it's why those moments sear themselves into your mind, never truly fading. Today, we're not just observing human quirks, we're peeling back the intricate layers of your very operating system to expose a fundamental, deeply disturbing truth: how your neural architecture blurs the lines between a physical injury and a blow to your social standing. You're about to understand the precise psychological mechanisms centered around your brain's anterior cingulate cortex and your amygdala that transform fleeting social missteps into lifelong, visceral memories. This isn't abstract neuroscience. This is the hidden blueprint of your self-perception, the silent director of your social choices, and the profound reason why those cringeworthy moments continue to shape your interactions long after they occur. Imagine a sophisticated alarm system designed to detect a very specific threat, say, an intruder. Now, picture that same system screaming just as loudly, just as urgently when a leaf brushes against the window. It's overreacting, right? But your brain doesn't see it that way when it comes to social pain. The area lighting up in both scenarios, the one that processes the sheer unpleasantness of pain, is primarily your anterior cingulate cortex, or ACC. Traditionally, this region has been studied for its role in the subjective experience of physical discomfort, that sharp, hot sensation when you accidentally touch a scorching surface, or the dull throb of a bruise. But here's the twist. It responds with startling similarity when you face social rejection or public embarrassment. This isn't a metaphor. This is literal. Research spearheaded by Dr. Ethan Kross and his colleagues at the University of Michigan in 2011 demonstrated this phenomenon with remarkable clarity. Participants were led to believe they were playing a virtual ball-tossing game with two other players. In reality, the other players were computerized, programmed to eventually exclude the participant entirely. When these individuals were being actively excluded, their functional magnetic resonance imaging, or fMRI scans, showed robust activation in the very same brain regions that respond to physical pain, including the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex and the anterior insula. It wasn't just a flicker, it was a strong, undeniable signal. This pivotal finding suggested that the brain's alarm bells for physical injury and social injury are deeply intertwined, almost indistinguishable at a foundational neural level. Think about that. Your mind is screaming the same way it would if you were being physically attacked, simply because you tripped over your words during a presentation. It's almost as if your neural circuits, finely tuned over millennia, are operating under a deeply archaic directive. Social exclusion once meant death. Being cast out from the tribe meant a swift end to survival. So, your brain evolved to treat any hint of social ostracism, any potential damage to your social standing, as a dire, life-threatening emergency. The physical sensation of embarrassment, that heat spreading across your skin, the churning in your stomach, the sudden difficulty in catching your breath, these aren't just psychological responses. They are echoes of a primal protective system designed to alert you to a critical threat to your well-being. But if the ACC is just sounding the alarm, what then locks that alarm with all its visceral intensity into your memory banks, ensuring you never forget it? That's the part that truly changes everything. This isn't merely about a temporary feeling of discomfort. It's about the creation of a permanent, potent warning system. Once the anterior cingulate cortex screams its pain signal during an embarrassing episode, another critical brain region jumps into action: the amygdala. This almond-shaped structure is the brain's emotional powerhouse, particularly attuned to fear and threat. When the ACC sends its urgent signals of social pain, The amygdala interprets this as a highly significant, potentially dangerous event. It then acts like a neural superglue, embedding that memory, along with all its sensory and emotional details, deep into your episodic memory. This isn't just recording facts, it's capturing the feeling. Consider the common human experience. You're casually going about your day, and then, completely unbidden, a 20-year-old memory of spilling a drink on a first date or tripping on stage during a school play floods your mind. You physically wince, you might even gasp. The heat rushes back. Why? Because the amygdala, fueled by that initial ACC-driven social pain, has meticulously encoded it as a social threat warning. Before understanding this, you might have felt an internal narrative like this. You'd avoid making eye contact with new people because that one time, years ago, you stumbled over your introduction and felt a wave of shame. You'd pass up opportunities to speak in front of small groups, even when you knew your input was valuable, because the echo of a forgotten laugh still stung. You'd find yourself replaying a simple, awkward interaction, dissecting every word, every gesture, convinced you were inherently clumsy or socially inept. You believed these hesitations were reflections of your character, your shyness, or some personal flaw. You'd internalize the belief that you were uniquely bad at social interactions. But now, with the knowledge of this profound neural process, your perspective shifts entirely. You realize that avoiding eye contact isn't a sign of intrinsic shyness. It's a conditioned response, a neural circuit flashing a warning sign that says, "Danger, potential social rejection ahead." You understand that passing on speaking engagements isn't about being fundamentally inept. It's the amygdala's alarm system saying, "Remember the pain? Avoid the pain." That obsessive replaying of past awkwardness isn't a personal failing. It's your brain's frantic attempt to analyze and catalog potential threats, turning every social misstep into a critical lesson in its survival guide. The weight of this knowledge is immense. This mechanism, brilliantly articulated in reviews like Naomi Eisenberger's 2012 exploration of social pain and its neural underpinnings, reveals that your brain is simply doing what it was designed to do: protect you from anything that could compromise your social standing, because historically, that meant survival itself. The persistent sting of embarrassment is not a weakness. It is the imprint of an ancient, powerful safeguarding system operating precisely as intended. It's a blueprint etched deep within your neural pathways, continuously influencing your decisions in ways you never consciously recognized. A truly shocking reframe about how the brain actually works, isn't it? So, if your brain is hardwired to remember every social burn with such tenacity, are you doomed to a life of replaying every minor awkwardness? Absolutely not. While you can't erase these fundamental neural pathways, you can certainly learn to navigate around them and even reprogram their influence. Here are 3 research-backed techniques to lessen the grip of that internal social alarm system. First, practice cognitive reappraisal. This isn't about denying what happened, but changing the story you tell yourself about it. When an embarrassing memory surfaces, instead of immediately falling into the trap of self-criticism, consciously reframe the event. Instead of, "I was so stupid and everyone saw it," try, "My brain just identified a social situation where I felt vulnerable and it's trying to protect me. This was a learning experience about adapting in unexpected moments." Acknowledge the feeling without letting it define your current self. You're not trying to pretend it didn't hurt. You're just shifting the narrative from a personal failing to a protective, albeit overzealous, neural response. This technique, validated in numerous studies on emotional regulation, helps to dial down the amygdala's continued alarm response by inserting a more rational, less threatening interpretation. Second, cultivate self-compassion. This involves treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a close friend who made a similar mistake. When that embarrassing memory surfaces, instead of indulging in harsh self-judgment, consciously offer yourself warmth. Say to yourself, "This was a difficult moment, and it's natural to feel the sting of it. Everyone experiences these kinds of things. I am human and imperfect, and that's okay. Researchers like Dr. Kristin Neff have shown that self-compassion significantly reduces the emotional intensity of negative experiences, lessening rumination and increasing resilience. It acts as a soothing balm to the activated ACC and amygdala, signaling that the threat is not as dire as your ancient brain perceives. And the third technique involves structured, controlled re-engagement. This might sound counterintuitive, but it's about gradually introducing new, positive social memories that can begin to dilute or even overwrite the old, painful ones. If your embarrassment stems from public speaking, start with very small, low-stakes opportunities. Talk more in casual group settings, offer an opinion in a meeting with trusted colleagues, then slowly build up to slightly larger audiences. Each successful, non-traumatic social interaction creates new neural pathways and positive associations. You're essentially telling your brain, through repeated positive experiences, that social interaction doesn't always equal pain or rejection. Over time, these new, positive memories can begin to outnumber and reduce the dominance of the old, distressing ones. You're not forgetting, but you are creating a richer, more nuanced library of social experiences that includes triumph alongside tribulation. You are not merely a collection of your past awkward moments. Understanding this intricate dance between your brain's pain centers and memory hubs permanently alters how you perceive yourself. Your susceptibility to social discomfort, that lingering blush or the racing heart, isn't a flaw in your character. It's compelling evidence of a highly sophisticated, deeply evolved social brain, one that prioritizes connection and belonging above almost everything else. When you feel that old sting, you now have the clarity to say, there's my ancient ACC doing its job, but I understand the message differently now. And this revelation extends far beyond your own internal landscape. It redefines how you perceive others. That person who seems overly sensitive to criticism, or the one who constantly seeks validation. They're not weak, they're simply human, operating under the immense, unseen influence of this very same neural architecture. Their brain, just like yours, is screaming physical pain alarms at social slights, compelling them to react in ways that seem confusing or irrational from the outside. This understanding cultivates a profound, almost uncomfortable empathy. It separates the biological impulse from any character judgment. Every seemingly irrational social behavior suddenly makes deeply evolutionary sense. You see the invisible strings that move us all, binding us together through shared vulnerability and the deep human need for connection. We've just unmasked one of the most powerful, invisible forces shaping your social world and your self-perception. But this is merely the first layer. The journey into the deeper mechanisms of human behavior, into the true architecture of your mind, holds even more astonishing revelations. Remain vigilant. There are always more hidden programs to uncover.